Now a short discussion on how to implement. Okay, so where do you ask these questions? We are in lockdown, and how do you meet the client? I would think that this actually makes a lot of things easier. Why? Because you can reach out to a client in any city, any country, technically. And country is important because while law is territorial, there are clients all over India all over the world looking to enter India. If you're an Indian lawyer, looking to sell products to Indian customers, so or set up some operation in India or some tax advice. A lot of things like that happen. Okay, so sometimes if they are collecting payments, there might be a requirement to store some data in India. So now that means that they will need Indian lawyers inputs. Now, how do you do this? If you had to meet them, it becomes very, very tiring. You cannot have more than maybe 3-4 meetings in a day. And with court work and other client delivery work, that time gets squeezed. But when with an online discovery call, we call it a discovery call. I think you can look at Google the keyword. It's prevalent in the coaching industry. But when you do a discovery call, what happens is that you can identify the client's needs. So you ask those questions, make a note of the needs, okay, based on these questions. And you can invite one or two key stakeholders along with the client. So if it's a co-founder, you can invite 2-3 other co-founders and say that, okay, you can tell that person that invite your other co-founders or the person who looks at you with this on these aspects, who will be available daily to look at this. Okay, so now if you can do these calls over Zoom, you can do a lot more meetings much more easily and manage your existing work, and you can tap into a wider client base, wider potential client base. Then what is the follow-up process? Right now you've done your first discovery call, then again the person, there is a risk that they may say, what is the retainer amount, how much will you charge, let's cap your fees. Okay, and you don't want to do that right now, correct? So how do you go about things? But what I'm speaking about here is some overview of the process. Now, this legal health checkup, for example, is an excellent way to tell your clients. So when and why will they need a legal health checkup? Okay, if any business is looking to expand, whether by loans, by bank loan, or through or through equity funding, or through even NBFC finance or other instruments, so they would want to know where they stand, because before the finance there will be a diligence undertaken, and most businesses do not have the time to focus on all the legal things, and business happens in the ordinary course. So when a lawyer goes to review it, this is what will happen when the investor reviews the business before giving funds. Okay, they will find out where there are gaps in compliance, contracts, litigation exposure which is unresolved. All of that they will want to do. So if you do a free legal health checkup, you can review some documents, give them inputs. Okay, now this is a simple way. After the discovery call, you can suggest one of these kinds of services. Okay, it's like a legal health checkup to see how investment or a mock due diligence to see whether your investment ready. I'll fix all the pain points so that when an investor is doing a due diligence, uh, they don't find issues, or the issues are minimized. Okay, now you can, so then the next is having a gateway service. Okay, so a gateway service is what? Now there are these two steps I'm giving you. Follow up. So let's go back here. This is free. Okay, here you learn about the business. You ask the questions that we discussed earlier. Legal health checkup can be paid, can be free. Okay, a gateway service, again, this is a low cost service, or if something free can be a low cost service. Okay, this is to interact more closely with the client and internal stakeholders to give them a sense of your work. See, until here you're talking only business and you're building connection and relationship. You're not explaining how good you are, you're not delivering into a need, you are identifying need. This is need identification. Okay, like we do need identification through a requirement analysis form, okay, which we use for corporate trainings. Now this again is a form of that, but here you are going to use this to provide a paid service later. Okay, so here again you're asking questions to get to something very objective. Now this is an initial service. This could be a low margin service. Again, they get a taste of your professionalism, your work, your delivery, your connect with people, your quality of work. Examples of gateway services are negotiation training, short one. Okay, 2-hour negotiation training on a particular contract for business managers. Okay, You could do a data protection training. You could do a disciplinary proceedings training for HR managers and legal team. Uh, like that, you could do a post training. So trainings are one of the key heads of gateway services. Law firms do competition trainings, insider trading trainings for a lot of companies. Okay, so gateway services, now those could be gateway services or those could be heavily built, but I am saying to you that if you want to build a new client, you need to have a low effort, low cost gateway service that allows them to again trust you and build rapport with you. Okay, then is the roadmap. So you did this legal health checkup where you identified based on review of documents what they need. Okay, now that roadmap, you will need to give them a roadmap after that, after the checkup, to say that you need these 10 things done in this amount of time, and this is how I plan to do it in these many phases, and these are the steps. This is a 2 month plan, and I will complete it by the end of the second month. Every 7 days, I'll send you an update, and with this thing delivered. Okay, and then you will give them a pricing also for this. You can collect an advance also. But the question that we are talking about is not these three, not even this. Okay, the most important thing here is that how to ask, like which are the questions to ask, because people do not know how to talk to clients. When I'm speaking to a lot of our students, coaching them, most of my coaching revolves around okay, what is the client doing, and they say this is what the client asked me, and I'm like, no, but ask them one more step, what are they doing, how does this work, what is the USP, because that's when you can actually say that this is what you need, because you know then the business of the client. Otherwise that is not possible. And then you move on to the service and delivery part after you get the advance. Okay, in the roadmap you will say that there is an advance needed, and uh, to start it could be a small amount, but you know what's really happening here, why do you insist on that? If you're giving, if you're not charging exorbitantly and you're giving value for money, you will still want both sides to exchange energy. You don't want to be taken for a ride. You can give something cheaper, but you still want like the other side also to invest. So that is why you can insist on an advance there. Okay. uh, Now what happens here is that the roadmap is not that I will take up this civil case or I will send this legal notice. It is a strategy to solve the entire issue. Okay, so if it's about a mock legal health checkup, then you will give them a list of 20 things you will fix, so that they are actually, when they are doing a real diligence for an investment transaction, these things are fixed. Now, the next thing is after the receipt of advance, you got to focus on service and delivery, which means that usually what happens is that we follow an after the fact approach, which means that after I get the matter, I will do the research and figure it out. I'll see 3, 4 templates and draft the contract. I'll research on case law and do it. But that's exactly where we fail. Okay, we need to be pre-prepared. That's what preparation means. You have to be prepared in advance, okay, for these kind of things. Okay, and your preparation actually shows to the client that you know how much on point you are. The lawyers who get the mandate are the ones who are prepared. What does it mean to be prepared? One is to know the law, yes, but also to know how to perform the task that you're going to propose. You got to know it beforehand so that you can say that this is what I will do. You've got to know some of the obstacles you're going to hit and how you will solve them. So you need to know, you need to not get stuck, and you need to know the steps of the process. You need to know the whole route. Okay, this is the reason lawyers have this after the fact approach, is because they don't know the whole route till the end of resolving the client's problem. See, you don't know whether which step will give you the result sometimes. Okay, if you're doing a litigation, you don't know, but you will know that this step, this step, this step, this step, and there's like a 5% chance or 10% chance at each step that one of the steps may work, and there's a chance that nothing may work. So there are no guarantees. But the point is, do you know how to execute each step? You don't have to guarantee result, but can you execute each step? That's what will make the client believe you.